So what goes through your mind when the stock market takes a nosedive? Do you celebrate your losses? Or do you question every single investment decision you've ever made in your entire life? Well, if you're a normal person, you probably have a lot of emotion around seeing your portfolio go down, down, down. And it puts us in a level of uncertainty as to should we keep investing or should we take all of our money and just put it in a nice, calm savings account? Well, if this resonates with you, in this video today, I'm going to talk about what no one talks about when it comes down to market crashes and buying stocks. Now, most recently, we had the Q1 earnings report for Tesla. Let's say the date is April 23rd, and you're going to anticipate that Tesla is going to report bad earnings. Typically, bad earnings cause the stock the next day to drop down. In fact, we saw that with Tesla on their previous quarterly earnings report. The next day, the stock drops. So you start getting an interesting idea. You think, okay, my average cost is, let's say, $150 a share, and it's already down at $144. If I sell today, maybe tomorrow, what I can do is buy back in. And when I buy back in, the share price, man, it could be like 130, 120, depending on how much it actually drops. So right here on April 23rd, you decide it's time to sell the stock. And you're going to wait until tomorrow. And then that way you can buy in. And when it goes back up to the moon, you're going to make all kinds of gains. So the earnings results, they come in bad. You're starting to get excited. Everything's working out exactly as it's supposed to. But look what happens to the stock after hours. Oh, look. Oh my. Oh goodness. The next day comes, it's not in the 140s, 20s, or 30s. It's in the 160s. The thing is going to the moon. Oh, what is it today? 190 plus per share? Of course, it could go up more, it could go down more, but the point is, you sold your shares at about $144, hoping it would drop to 120. The next day it's at 160, and now here we sit at 190 in just a short period of about a week. Why did the stock go up? There's a lot of reason why, but that's not the point. The point is, timing the market like this can leave you absolutely burned. But come here a minute. Is there a way we can still be smart about how and when we invest to actually make a profit long term? Yes, I'm going to show you. And let's cue up the CNN Fear and Greed Index. And right here it is. You can see as of the recording of this video is at 44. That's not what matters. What matters is the Fear and Greed Index is a very interesting way to gauge the stock market movements and whether the stocks are fairly priced. And using this timeline right here, click right here, you can see that there's periods of greed, there's periods of fear. But what if we actually invest based on this particular index? See, back earlier, Tesla, that was just a theory that the person had. But what if we look at the entire stock market and how it is actually doing and look at it from an ETF overall perspective? So we're going to take 3 different people, and each of them are going to either time the market or not based on the Fear and Greed Index. Now, I calculated this a little bit earlier, and I was absolutely shocked at the result. Now, we're going to use the S&P 500 fund, SPY, and we're going to just stick to $5 a day because, you know, I'm the $5 a day guy, so let's just stick with that. Now, our first person is somewhat of a trend follower. They're the one that gets excited about investing when everybody's talking about investing, and that's typically when the Fear and Greed Index is in greed or extreme greed. We're going to give this person a name. I'm a greedy. Now this next person, the second person, they like to pry on fear in the market. Now this can actually sometimes be me because, you know, Warren Buffett's famous quote, be fearful when people are greedy and be greedy when people are fearful, is this person right here. When people are fearful, I get greedy in the stock market. I start investing more money. So this second person is doing just that. They're only going to invest when this particular index is in fear or extreme fear. Let's give them a name. Farley McFearbucks. Then there's going to be somebody that I actually kind of look up to because I struggle with this sometimes outside of my daily $5 a day investment. And that is somebody that's just going to invest no matter what. They have a plan. And that plan is every day they're going to invest. Maybe every month they're going to invest. They literally don't care if the stock market's up or down. They're playing the long game. And guess what that means? That means their name is Don. Don Give a Fuck. You like that? I thought that was a cool name. Right here, you can see that the Fear and Greed Index, that only goes back to what? 2023, May of 2023, but your boy got you hooked up. I did a lot of research, a lot of painstaking research to trend this particular index all the way back to 2021. And Patreon members, you're going to get access to this entire sheet and a way that you can play around with these numbers even more so than what I'm about to show you. But what I'm going to show you here is this fancy little Excel that I put together. You can see the data with the Fear and Greed Index all the way back to October 20th, 2021. Then we're going to see SPY, that's the fund that we're looking at, the price, and that's the closing price every single day that the stock market is open. And here we have our three people. We have I'm a Greedy, only investing when the Fear and Greed Index over here is at greed or extreme greed. We got our buddy Farley, and then we got Don Give a Fuck. Okay, so we got all these people. Now you can see over here, let me start over here at Don. Don has a buy of $5 every day, as you can see as it comes down here. How many shares he's able to buy with his $5 based on the price of SPY, his total running shares, how much money he's sunk into this thing over the period of time, his current portfolio value, and the actual percentage gain. So you can see there's going to be periods of positivity. You can see right here now his portfolio is down by negative, what is that? Negative 0.09%. So there's going to be periods of up and periods of down. Let's start with our buddy I'm a Greedy. Okay, so I'm a Greedy is excited because they're sitting here and they're like, the market's great, everything's great. I'm bullish, and they're $5 every day here. You can see we're in greed, 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 extreme greed, all the way down here. We're going to come all the way down, and then look what happens on November 26, 2021. The index goes into fear mode. So this person stops. They're going to stop investing, and you can see now they've invested a total of $130 of their hard-earned money, and their total return thus far is $130.92, which means they're up 0.70. As we go through this long period of fear, all the way up to December 23rd, you can see that their portfolio value ends at positive 1.27%. So now they're up to $131. The next day, or the next stock market day, it turns back into greed. So they start investing. Both McFearbucks as well as I'm a Greedy is not going to invest during neutral because they don't know which way it's going. So they just kind of stop there anyway. But it does go back into greed. So onward they go. 2022 is the period of fear. If you were in the stock market, you know exactly what I mean by that. But we're going to come down here. There's a period of 3 days of greed. Isn't that fantastic? All the way down, all the way down. Look at all this. Now we're back into greed here at the end of 2022, followed up by some fear again, followed up by some extreme fear, and all the way through 2023. They're continuing to invest anytime it's at greed. So here's the bottom line. Let's go all the way to today in 2024. Holy cow, that's a lot of data, isn't it? So here we are. We've actually been in fear since tax day, April 15th, 2024. And I'm going to end this here on the 24th of April. I'll update it later. But for now, this person has a total of 3.5 shares of SPY over that period of time. That's a long time. I mean, let's be honest. 2021 to 2024 is a long time. But they racked up 3.5 shares at $1,555. That's the money they put in at $5 a day. Their market return is $1,776, which means they're up 12.45%. Now, that's actually pretty good considering they only invested when the market was technically higher than it was over the average of everything else relative to the CNN Fear and Greed Index, as we just looked. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. Let's look at our buddy Farley McFearbucks. What I'm going to do to make things easy, I'm going to hide I'm a Greedy. Now, what I need you to do is remember that for us, right? 12.45% was the ending portfolio of I'm a Greedy. They start the year here or the end of the year here in 2021 not buying because we're in greed. So they're not buying. They start buying once we hit fear. Obviously, it's the inverse of I'm a Greedy. He's going to do everything that I'm a Greedy doesn't. So fear time, this person's buying in all the way through. Here's everything, right? Anytime you see fear, extreme fear, my buddy Farley is loading the boat with $5 a day. Okay, so let's go all the way to the bottom. 12.45%. I hope you remembered that. At the bottom, today, April 24th, 2024, they have a total of 2.9 shares. 2.9 shares of SPY. They invested $1,225 of their hard-earned money. Their portfolio value is $1,500. Now take a look at that. They're up 18.35%. Holy cow. Is that not just kind of cool? The fact that when you invest only on the fear time, and we're talking about actual fear. So it has to actually say we're in fear at the close of business on the CNN Fear and Greed Index for this person to invest. They're actually up higher than somebody that only invests on greed. Now, what about Don Give a Fuck? That's my boy right there. It's going to be interesting. Now remember, okay, you got two numbers to remember now. We got 12.45%, and then we got this one here at 18.35%. Again, this one's going to be easy because it's just literally $5 a day every single day that the stock market's open from October 20th, 2021 all the way through. So here we go. This one shocked me. At the bottom, right here we are today. This person has the most shares, 7.35, pretty good. Now, because they invested every day, they put a lot more money into this fund at 3,155. So that's a lot of money. But look at the return, 3,718. Here's what's shocking. It's only a 15.15% return as of April 24th. Now, isn't that interesting? We can all say that I'm a greedy, drop the ball here. But how many people do you know that do that? Maybe it's you. I actually know somebody, I talk to this person a lot, and they always say, hey, the market's down. I'm holding. I'm not going to buy right now. Why would you buy right now? Everything's down. And they only invest when the market's doing good. They're literally, I'm a greedy. And it's funny because I think they're investing more than $5 a day. I think they're dropping like $1,000 a month, but only when the market's doing good, because that's just how their psychology is. They're not looking at the fear and greed index. They're only basing it on their emotion. What I'm doing here is really looking at not giving a fut, as Don is doing, or possibly doing the Warren Buffett quote of being greedy when people are fearful, because we see quite a difference in the percentages, 15 to 18%. Now, what I'd like to know is from you what you think about this. I really have a lot of respect for the people that are Don. Now, over here on Google Sheets is a similar look. We got Ima, Farley, and Don Give a Fut. Exactly what I shared with you, but here's what's cool about it. We can do things other than SPY, because this has all the SPY prices, right? But let's say you invested in QQQ. Would it be any different? What's really cool about this, you can type in QQQ right up here at the top, hit enter. It's automatically going to load in all the prices of QQQ and automatically update all three scenarios. Come down here to the bottom, you can see how our buddies are doing. So here's the big difference here. Now we're up 16.79% when it comes down to I'm a greedy, but take a look at this. With QQQ, our buddy McFearbucks is up 24% on his portfolio by only investing in fear, while Don is up by 20.57%. You can also have fun with this and do like individual stocks right up here. This is going to be available to my Patreon members. So if you are a Patreon member, you're going to have access to this Google Sheet. Plug in whatever you want right up in this box. Have fun with this. But it could also be a very interesting way for you to really analyze, is it smart to time the market or not? Tesla is a great example of that. Here we're down negative 34% since October 2021 on greedy, down 45% on fear, which is kind of an inverse. That's really interesting. And then down 39%. Hey, it seems like long term, at least in this snapshot period of October 21 to April 2024, Tesla didn't do too hot. What do you think of that? By the way, if you want an update on my $5 a day investment challenge that I did, you got to check out the playlist right up here for the latest video. Let's talk about the 3 ETFs that can really get you set up for financial independence. And in order to learn more about that, check out this video next, and we'll see you on the next video.